Yo, KR,
Yes.
you know what Sam Bankman-Fried is singing right now?
No idea. Tell me.
The police will find me with a bowl filled with grease. I'll be home for Christmas, but you can't bank on me. What's up? What's up, guys? What up? What up?
Hey.
Another day, another thought. Welcome all to another edition of the Double Thought Show. KR, what did you think of my song, man?
Oh, I didn't expect that. I really didn't expect that. It's a good one. It was a good one. It was a good one.
Yeah, man. Hey, thanks. Hey, we have bots. We have the bots already as well. So what's up? What up,
That's good.
bots? Guys, welcome to another edition of the Double Thought Show, where we discuss and analyze topics and try to challenge the mainstream mindset from an as objective point of view as possible. Hope you're doing well, everybody. I'm RJ, as you know, and of course, I'm here with my co-host KR.
What's up, guys?
What's up? What's up? Thanks to everyone who's watching us live, who's following the live show, and of course, everyone who's watching the rebroadcast as well. Please, if you're watching the rebroadcast, check the timestamps. Then you can follow or you can jump to the segments that you're interested in directly.
Yes, sir.
Let's see if everything's working correctly so we don't struggle stream. Please, guys, let us know in the chat if you can hear us and if you can see us. Just want to make
Uno.
sure you don't miss out on anything. What did you say?
Press uno. Press
Press
one.
uno.
Press
Uno.
one if everything is working, guys.
And if it doesn't, press one anyways.
Don't tell them to press one. Press zero.
Or zero.
Press
My
zero.
bad. My bad. My bad. My bad. My bad. My bad. Yeah, man.
Yes, guys. So remember to like, follow, and subscribe. We've seen a lot of subscribers this past week. Very happy about that. A lot of views as well. Guys, follow us on YouTube, of course. Follow us on Instagram. Uh, follow us on Instagram. Well, I mean, you already subscribed, hopefully, to our
Hopefully.
YouTube.
And if you're not, please subscribe. We really appreciate your
Yes, and
commitment.
also Facebook. We try to post daily clips. Um, Basically the best parts of the show of
Yeah.
the past weeks. We keep posting them every day, and I mean every Saturday you can expect a live show.
Yeah. 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 So, guys, before we proceed with the full story, I want to add the usual disclaimer. We are not financial or life advisors in this show. The show we are purely here to entertain you, and we do this by sharing our thoughts and opinions on various topics. And we uh, like to hear from you as well. For advice that is tailor made to your needs, please seek out advice from relevant professionals.
Guys, before we continue, please, like I said, like the show, like the rebroadcast, so that helps us with the algorithm. It puts us higher in the recommendations. Um, and basically, we are then shown to more people. It's really simple. If you think we are creating a great show, please like us so we can, and also share, of course. Don't forget to share with your friends. Show them the clips, show them the live if you think we're talking interesting points. And yeah, what else can I say? With that being said, we can start. Guys, we have a lot to discuss today in today's show. As you can see, the theme of the day: are you greasing enough palms to slip out of the grasp of the law?
Guys, just so you know, we are not, this is just a title. We are not advising anyone to grease any people's palms. This is just the title of the show. Don't go tell people that KR and RJ is condoning palm greasing out there, man. But
Hey,
you need to be careful, KR. You need to be careful how people interpret your messages these days.
well, I wanted to go out with a bang, end of the year.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Do that on your own channel.
Oh man. No, we're not suggesting someone might have greased some hands. Watch the previous videos and you'll see what happened. So guys, today we will be discussing SBF again. Sam Bankman-Fried.
Free.
And FTX.
He's free.
He's freed. Yes, he's free. Sam Bankman free. We should eat off his back. Start making shirts. Sam Bankman's free.
Yeah.
Not for long though. But
No, not for now.
and we should make also counter t-shirts.
Maybe
Sam Bankman free.
just
not
sell
for
to
long, though.
both sides of the
Yeah, you gotta sell both sides.
both teams. Yeah.
Hey. Yes, guys, we are going to talk first of all about in chapter 1, basically about him getting free. We will dive into some real estate deals he made for you to understand what has happened and how certain, let's say, a bill could have been afforded. Maybe, who knows, according to reports. We will be also talking about things that have happened in this saga, in this FTX saga. I mean, we will run it back. Certain things that have happened, some fraud stuff that they were doing that we didn't discuss earlier in earlier shows, and also remarkable situations they got themselves in. And as last, we're gonna talk about the deal cutting that's happening. I mean, people are they're trying to avoid that 115. They're trying to avoid that 110.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna discuss that later in the show. Would you
Guys-
cut a deal?
Spoiler alert, you can't trust anybody.
We've seen that. We've seen that in different. I mean, this is not the only
Show where we've seen that.
only one that's going on right here. I mean, YSL is out here. Well, can't trust anyone. I think
Can't
RJ said it. He's the lawyer. Listen to your lawyer, guys.
Yeah, but this is
You
not
have-
a legal show. And
This is
we
not a
cannot-
legal show. That's
So please listen as
No, I said
we
listen
are
to
sharing
your
my
lawyer.
thoughts
I
and
didn't say,
opinions.
dude. I said listen to your lawyer. I didn't say listen to you.
Well, now you're
You're not
talking
a
like a real lawyer.
Huh?
Maybe I have a future in that field.
Again?
I said now you're talking like a real lawyer.
Well, I
You're
said
defending
it.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
Ah,
But
okay. Okay.
You're defending yourself like a true lawyer. So
Yes.
maybe
Yes.
that's the future.
I could have went that route, but I chose not to. But let's go and take it back to Sam.
VF. Let's go.
RJ, can you post the link in the description for the guys to call in? You
Yes,
can
guys.
always call in. Feel free to call in and chime in.
Yes, guys. Except for the bots, feel free to click on a link and join the show if you want to share your thoughts and opinions with us. I just dropped the link in the chat, so feel free to come up and yeah, tell us what you think, if you agree or you don't agree, or maybe you have something to add to the conversation. As we always say, we like to have we like to know your thoughts and opinions as well, because that's the only way we can sharpen, so everyone involved in the conversation can sharpen their thoughts and way of thinking.
Indeed. Couldn't have said it better.
That's why I said it.
Guys, let's start the show, I guess. Chapter 1.
Where do we begin?
So, in chapter 1, we will be discussing, as I said, the real estate deals. To do that, we will go back and take a look at something that was shared earlier, a week ago or something like that, by Valuetainment. Patrick Bet David was talking basically about the deals they were making, and those were deals. I'll tell you that much. Let's play the clip.
FTX spent $256 million on Bahamas Real Estate. Now the island's government wants it back. This is a CNBC story on page 9. So, okay, so Bahamas lawyers said FTX executive Sam Bankman-Fried and Ryan Salami, what a last name, spent $256 million to buy and maintain 35 different properties across New Providence, Bahamas. Now Bahamas regulators are trying to claw back the property from FTX U.S. bankruptcy protection proceedings, telling a Delaware federal judge that allowing the properties to be administered in U.S. courts would be both administratively ineffective and illegal under Bahamas laws. Tens of millions were spent just at the small island development that Bankman-Fried called home, with FTX holding company buying at least 15 properties and one vacant lot for a combined total of $143 million. Two of the largest apartments at this private Albany development came in an eye-watering $30 million. Another was purchased for just over $21.3 million. Tom, what do you have to say about that?
Well, I don't.
256 million dollars worth of real estate.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about. These guys were moving the money left and right. And no
Probably.
one was sitting there and thinking,
Oh, Jesus.
no one in that company thought this was a bad idea.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. But let's continue.
I don't know if anybody knows about Albany. Albany is very popular. You're seeing NBA players and athletes and billionaires that are looking around over at Albany. And matter of fact, I think you guys took a vacation and you were invited to go check it out as well, I think, and you saw
we
it.
saw this one property we liked a lot.
So it's a pretty cool.
It's a sick, by the way,
Okay.
it's a sick community.
Okay, so when you're trying to sell these high-end properties, what you don't want is 15 properties to be caught up in U.S. bankruptcy court with signs out front that says auction pending. What you want is the government wants our bankruptcy court to release them back so that two things can happen. Number one, it doesn't affect the value of the other Albany properties. And number two, they can sell them to the next guy. So this is actually kind of funny with the Bahamas. Like, yeah, listen, wait. This would be illegal under our law. Hang on. And I noticed the order, they say it would be administratively ineffective. And oh, by the way, it's illegal under our law. So please get out of here. Give us the property back. Let us sell it to the next guy. Please, and don't auction it off at some low number, because they're just going to auction it off in the bankruptcy court. They don't dress the thing up. This isn't like a professional sale. There'll be an auction over there. It'll sell at 60 cents on the dollar. And then that money gets used to try to go back to the fraud victims.
RJ, I'm seeing you shaking your head. Is he right or is he right?
It's definitely right. If it goes if it gets sold through a bankruptcy sale, because basically, if it's sold as an asset to a bankrupt property, oftentimes the trustee was the person that handles that is in charge of the company, the bankrupt company. That person has enough things to do, so he or she just wants to sell the property as fast as possible for a reasonable price, and to pay off certain creditors. So and because they know that if it goes on auction, they won't get everything. Sometimes, if there's enough incentive, the trustee will try to look for a buyer who's willing to pay the price of the property But if a buyer knows that the asset belongs to a bankrupt company, they will try to negotiate it down either way. The difference is maybe you'll get it on 80 cents on the dollar instead of 60 cents on the dollar. But yeah. Why? Do you have 60 cent on the 250 million?
Well, I've been thinking about Bahamas. It's a
Yeah.
good place, A lot of things going down there,
So will you leave Panama to go to Bahamas or?
No, Ecuador.
Oh, okay.
Get your countries right, man. Get your countries right.
Okay.
Panama. No. But hey, it's a really interesting thing, This this remark. First of all, the amount of real estate they bought. I mean, these guys were really moving the money around, and in addition to that, they bought a lot of real estate, and that real estate is now, as we can see later, being used for
As leverage for Bill.
yeah, basically. So we have. So now you guys know how much they spend on real estate. According to the new management, FTX has over $1 billion in cash sitting in bank accounts. These are sitting in different bank accounts. Roughly 720 million is sitting in banks in the US. About 500 is scattered in other institutions. About 130 million is in Japan.
Is
And
that,
the rest
is that
about
what type of asset? Is that in real estate or?
cash, all cash. These are all cash. These are all cash. So I showed you earlier the real estate. I'm talking about straight cash money.
Okay.
And they have 6 million available for company expenses. So the money has been the love has been spread around. Let's put it that way. Let's spread around the love. Sam loved to spread around the love in all different ways of the word.
Yeah.
Guys, go watch the previous shows.
Is it a previous show?
Well,
before that.
one of the previous shows about FTX. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
It's the first one. We talked about him and everyone in the, let's say, the select group spreading
the
the
inner
love.
circle.
The inner circle, yes. Spreading the love in their way. But he was spreading love in cash as well. The new CFO also said that they are reaching out to all those banks and changing the signatories on the accounts so they can access them and move the cash as much as they can. How easy would that be, RJ?
Yeah, I mean, if they change the signatories, and they have approval, then they can move the cash. That's not gonna be. I don't think that's gonna be a major problem.
Okay. It's clear.
Unless they have like, I doubt it, but unless they have like, let's say they owe the respective institutions as well. Let's say if they owe a bank in Japan money, so that bank lend the money, then probably in the contract is stipulated that in an event like this, they would be able to withhold what they are owed and only pay the rest. But aside from that, I don't see any real problems with getting the money back to a trusted account.
Okay, so that would be a good news for the people who, well, it's
Yeah,
for
so
the
it would
people
be,
who lost some money. Let's put it that way.
yeah, so it would be good that there is asset. However, in cases like this, it's not only what you have, but also what you owe. So
Mm.
if you owe far more, and I think I read somewhere that basically they've retrieved about 10%. So
Mhm.
10% is not enough to pay off everybody. That's one thing to take into account. Another thing to take into account is, for example, if they, I doubt it, but if they loaned money from the bank to purchase the properties or a property, then the bank most likely has a mortgage right on the property, which means that the bank, you can basically count that property out of the assets because the bank will just sell the property probably, and the remaining amounts due he will claim the company. So but those are just minor things, let's say. But I'm just, what I want to say is, okay, to have like the money is good, it's better than not having the money. However, you need to also take into account that you have people to pay as well. A lot of
Mm.
people to pay.
Yeah. In this case, a lot. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot of assets lost.
Yeah.
So we've seen before that Sam has. He's from a privileged background. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Parents went to Harvard, both lawyers. He went to MIT. How would you expect him to be treated
Well,
with the connections he has as well? He has built up.
yeah. So I can't say, so I know how he was treated already, so I can't give a let's say an objective answer, but I will say Paul Mooney always said some people have the complexion for the protection. And we know that some people do not. Shout out to your boy Tory. shout, shout out to Tory Lanes. Yeah,
Don't
that's
shout him
another.
out. Don't shout him out.
Well,
Say hi.
it's too late already. But hi. So yeah, maybe we can cover that in a future show. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I think that but we can show it now. The way he was treated. I mean, if that's how criminals were treated, a lot of people would become criminals.
Well, some people think the same. We have a clip here from the Joe Rogan podcast a couple of weeks ago. They talked about this. Let's watch.
Because they're all really, really kid gloves with this FTX kid. He must have paid out.
It is weird how they kid gloves with him, right? Like
Yeah.
some places not at all, and other places like trying to paint him as a person who just made mistakes.
Yeah, the whole point of giving somebody a shit ton of money is not so you have to give them orders of what to. They just have an insight. Like, no, he's one of the good ones. I know we hate billionaires here, but this guy gave us like
Millions.
yeah,
He duked out. Doesn't Bill Gates do that too? Doesn't he donate like millions
Yeah.
and millions of dollars to these
because
media
he used to be
organizations?
he used to be a hated guy.
Well, he still is by some.
But I mean, in the media, I remember that when he was like a bad guy. When they had the antitrust,
Right.
and now they can't say enough. And then you find all these things.
So we've seen in previous show we talked about this before. He has donated a lot of money to political parties. He has invested in a lot of media companies. Kevin O'Leary asked last week in the show, well, not in our show, but we talked about this. He asked, "Where's the money, Sam?" He spread it around.
Yeah.
There's the money. There's the money. No, it wasn't only Binance who did a hit job. The money was spread around. But yeah, and consequently, what you will have is that, of course, if people will be a bit more loyal to you because you've spread some love.
Yeah.
You've, would you say, greased some palms? But not no, I'm not saying law. I'm just saying you grease some palms.
So I would not say it on a live show. I would say, however, that I'm not.
It's not the law. I'm sorry.
I'm not. I'm not saying it. I wouldn't formulate it like that. But
That way.
if you,
Okay. Okay.
but
I'm
if
not a
you,
lawyer. I'm back to being a normal guy.
yeah.
The,
Well,
the crazy uncle.
yeah. So I was just about to say normal. It's not the word I would use, but so what I would say is that, I mean, if we recall in the previous one of the previous shows we did on Sam, we saw and FTX. I think it was the first FTX show. We saw how both Sam and another I don't know recall if the other person was a co-founder, but it was someone with a high position in the company. They both donated to political parties. I think Sam donated 32 million to the Democratic Party, and if I'm not mistaken, the other person 28 million or something to the Republican Party. So it's safe to say that they have. So let's not use greased palms, but we can use goodwill. They have goodwill on both sides of the political spectrum, at least the political parties. And if I recall, and KR, back me up on this,
Mhm.
Sam's mother is also affiliated with the Democratic political party,
Yes, according to sources.
according to sources. So safe to say that he has at least goodwill and ties to negotiate and try to get, let's say, people or let people with influence the way he's treated. He has been and will continue to be treated until his sentence, or at least until the conclusion of this case.
Yes. So as we open up the show with it, um, well, not really, not yet. They did a poll, and the poll showed that a lot of Americans, I know we know how polls work, but let's
do,
use
yeah.
it for this show. 2/3 of the Americans say Bankman-Fried fraud free should be convicted for his action while leading FTX. What do you think about these numbers?
Well, first of all, it's surprising. So, okay, so my first thought is, so why would people say no? It could be because they believe that he's innocent. I doubt it. I think I interpret it as these people believe that the system will protect him, so that the system will not um, reach justice at the end of the day. So if you look, so that's what I believe. But this is just my interpretation. And yeah, a majority of people do seem to want him convicted. Uh, Surprising that independents are pretty 50-50 on both. So both, if we look at their answer with respect to the question, will he be convicted and should he be convicted? it's like it's almost 50-50 with the independents.
Yeah.
So that's pretty remarkable to see. But yeah, other than that,
I guess it's quite what you would expect.
Yeah.
At least. So the question is, should he go to jail? And that question was also asked to Coffeezilla. Let's see what he thinks about this.
Hope for? Do you hope that SBF goes to jail? That's the individual. And in terms of the investors and the customers, what do you hope happens? And what do you think are the possible things that can happen?
So, yeah, I definitely think SBF should go to jail. For nothing else, for a semblance of justice, the facsimile of justice to occur for all the investors. I also think there are people probably several steps down the chain that probably knew, at least Caroline Ellison. You can have questions about sort of their, Dan Friedberg, who I'd love to talk about as well. There were a lot of people in that room who I think knew. I think we do so much of like the one guy is all to blame. Let's throw everything at him, when clearly this was a company-wide issue. So everyone who knew, I think, should face the same punishment, which I think should be jail for all of those people.
In part to send a signal to anybody that tries this kind of stuff in the future.
Yeah,
Harsh
absolutely. I
punishment.
mean, one of the big things that you saw, like, okay, take a microcosm of all of this action and just look at like the influencer space, right? There's a ton of deals that were done that I've covered ad nauseum about influencer finds out they can make a lot of money selling a crypto coin. The first thing they wonder is, am I going to get caught? If I do this, is there a consequence? And if the answer is no, then it's a pretty easy decision, as long as you don't like have any moral scruples about it, which apparently none of them did, or a lot of them didn't, I should say. So as soon as somebody steps in and regulates, that math changes. And all of a sudden there's a self-interest reason to not go do the bad thing. So for example, and I can give a
Do you agree with that statement?
yeah.
Do you also see that as a in your field of work? Do you see this this change, or would you expect this change?
What do you mean?
Once the feds or the authorities get involved, do you think that the change will be drastically?
It could be, but it depends on who's running the show.
Hmm.
So it's basically the higher you go in the hierarchy, the more civil they become. So let's say, just to give an example, if you deal with a cop on the street, he will most likely be more assertive and violent if necessary because of the situation. But when you get into jail, for example, let's say they arrest you and you go to jail, there you may see just a sheriff or a detective. The detective will treat you more humanely and more civilized. In this particular case, we're dealing with white collar crime. Oftentimes, you can imagine it's only you. So to be in the task force of white collar crime. So I'm not talking about the cops that transport him from point A to point B, but the detectives and those type of people. These are all people who have, or should have at least, basic knowledge of finance, fraud, and those type of things. So these are all educated people. So most of the times, so it will become different. So the treatment will become different. I don't think he's gonna sit in a jet. Well, yeah, he is probably, because he has an ankle brace. He's freed. So, but at least not by the
Well, at least he won't be jet setting.
yeah, it wouldn't be jet setting, and he's also limited to where he can go. So
Yeah.
Did I answer your question?
Well, you gave a pretty good explanation.
Okay.
So let's continue.
Concrete example of this. There was a NFT, the first ever NFT sort of like official indictment, or the DOJ released this press release that they're charging these guys who ran a NFT project that they didn't follow through on their promises. They made all these promises, lied, and then ran away with the money. First ever consequence for anyone in the NFT space. That day that press release came out, I saw several NFT projects come back to life from the dead. Why? Because all those founders are freaking out and they realized we scammed people. We have to go at least make it look like we're doing the right thing, right? Even just so that's on the optics side, but there's also tons of people who now go, oh, basically law enforcement is on the scene. We can't do the same thing. So there is a very pragmatic reason for this punishment. It's very much just because people work it into their math of, should I commit fraud? And the last several years have been very sort of, it's been like a little bit of a nihilistic landscape where no one was getting punished. And so there's this question of, you're almost an idiot if you didn't take the deals. So I think it's really important, extremely important, for kind of law enforcement to play a role, regulation to play a role, to make it harder to commit those crimes. And if you commit those crimes, there's actual real world punishment for it. Your point about like what's going to happen to the investors, I think that was kind of your question.
Yeah. So I think he's right. You're right. He
Yeah.
should go to jail for what he did.
Yeah. And it's also good to mention that in these type of cases, the criminals in white collar crime cases are treated better than criminals that commit other let's say low level crimes. There's a case to be made that shouldn't be the case, because so we got this in so when I was in law school, actually we had a very interesting subject called law and economics, and basically it showed, let's say, the relationship between a law or a rule on the one hand and the punishment on the other hand. So if the chances of getting caught is low, the punishment is oftentimes high. If the chances of getting caught is high, then the punishment is oftentimes light. Just to give an example, if you, for example, get in a train without paying a ticket, so you hop on a train without paying a ticket, you know that there are people surveying the trains, and let's say very, very often. So maybe there's a 60% chance you get caught. So that's why the fine you need to pay is relatively low, as opposed to when you, for example, are driving without insurance or without the license, your license. The chances are very low because you can drive a whole year without ever being stopped. But when you do get stopped, you get fined, and it's not that's astronomical, but it's still higher. These are both fines you get so let's say with regards to transportation, but that's the consequence. And to bring it back to white collar crimes, if the person, and this happens oftentimes, the person gets convicted of having misused money of other people, maybe 30 million, and then you will hear that they settled for 30 million. That's because they know. So they know on the one hand that they won't get the 27, so the rest, the 90%, but they know that if they don't cut a deal, they might they might not get anything. So it's one could argue that for that reason the punishment should be harsh, because or else people just will just make a calculation. They will just take the money, make it disappear, go sit time, go do the time, and
Free money! Free money!
yeah. And then they'd be like,
I think this belongs to me.
yeah. Yeah. So those are just my 2 cents on this matter. You're muted.
Yeah, so yeah, it's a very interesting take you have there. Guys, listen and learn. Listen and learn. So we've talked about what he's done wrong. Should he go to jail? I think we opened last week with the announcement that he got caught. He was apprehended by the Bahamian police department, the local police department. And he was sitting in that Bahamian jail for a couple of days. He was waiting for this extradition. Rat infested, so it wasn't as comfortable as you would think. I don't know. I don't know if that is true, but I guess he was sitting there for 10 days, and on past Wednesday he got extradited to New York, or the U.S. first, and then to New York, and then he got handed over to the authorities as he arrived in New York. And on Thursday, we got the media release that the man got granted a bail of $250 million. $250 million. That is the largest pretrial amount ever in US history.
Mm.
And I can tell you this. A lot of people know Bernie Madoff. Well, I can tell you that it's 25 times the amount Bernie had to post.
How much? Did you say
Bernie had only had to put down 10.
only? And
Bernie,
SBF 250.
250. Different times, I guess. Bernie made $64 billion disappear.
So I don't know about you.
Yes, tell me.
I don't know about you, but I was surprised when I saw this news headline that he got bail,
Yeah, I was surprised too.
because I think people deleted themselves based on what he did, because he played with other people's money. Some people, it was too much. Some people lost savings. Some people decided to delete themselves. His actions had severe consequences.
Yep.
And to just let this person out, granted, you have a $250 million bill, but and I think I read that the prosecutor, at least they said that the reason that they granted him bail, it's probably the judge that granted him bail, was that they did not think that he's a flight risk. They do not think that he's a flight risk, so
Mhm.
that he could go into hiding because he has gained
Notoriety.
notoriety, so everyone knows who he is.
He cannot go and hide.
Well, my response to that is if El Chapo could do it, he can do it as well.
I don't,
Come on, man.
I don't know. I don't know about that, but
If El Chapo could do it, he could do it as well, man. Come on.
Sam Bankman-Fried. Sam Bankman-Fried.
Estoy libre.
Estoy libre.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, that wasn't the only reason. Well, no. Wait a second. That's not the only. Well, I would say
Demand?
there are other things that the lawyer, the judge, also said. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Other than that, he also wait for this one. He must undergo a mental health counseling
Yeah, that was crazy.
after complaining of depression.
Aw.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you.
We don't care.
Come on, man. You think anyone wants to hear about Sam Bankman's mental health situation?
People lost millions.
Hey, this is
People lost millions, and now he's crying
Yeah.
about his mental health.
and he's depressed.
Imagine the guy who lost 2.1 million.
Yeah.
Imagine the guy who lost his life savings because he
No,
because
come
he
on, man.
followed
Give me a break.
Brady,
Come on, man.
because he followed Brady to FTX.
Yo. Brady sent me.
Brady sent me. I'm down here with Brady. So there are other requirements that they also put, like RJ said. He cannot fly. He's not a flight risk. In order to keep monitoring this, he will have to wear a ankle bracelet. Monitor. Sorry, Jesus, ankle bracelet. Yeah, it's his new ankle bracelet, I guess.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, I don't know why I said ankle bracelet. Anyway, he's also not allowed to open any new credit lines higher than $1,000.
Yeah, I think he's gonna.
I don't know why they put this in there, bro. Do you think anyone any bank would accept? Anyway, let's continue. He's also not allowed to leave the Northern District of California. So those are the additional requirements.
So they flew him out to New York, and then when he got so let's say when he got built out, one of the demands was that he was to remain in the northern part of California.
Yes, because he's going back to Mama and
Mama.
Dada.
Dada. Yes. Okay.
For those who don't know, that 250 million is the amount of the bill, but in actuality, you only have to post 10% of that. In Sam Bankman's case, this was done by 4 people. His mama, Barbara, his daddy, Alan, or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I shouldn't call him dad and mom. Maybe I should call him transparent. No, I'm just kidding, guys. And also, he was. They were assisted by 2 individuals with considerable assets. They didn't put up names, but they were able to put that 10% up. According to the Washington Free Beacon,
Free bake. Come on.
Bruh.
bruh.
Come on, bro.
Yeah. So according to
Right, let's try that one again, Kate. Let's try that one again. Yo. You hungry, man? It's
oh man,
it's almost Christmas.
guys, my team is getting whooped out here, and I'm losing it. That's why. Sorry, my bad.
Yo. Free bacon.
Let's continue. The Washington Free Beacon basically said that the parents put up their Stanford home worth about $4 million, and in addition to that, they also put up a vacation property. And guess where that vacation property is located? RJ.
Can't be. It would be too obvious to be the Bahamas. So
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait. First of all, you're not gonna speed past that like you didn't just say what you just said.
the
Bahamas?
Yeah.
Let me see.
Correct.
All right. Yo.
Yes.
Thank you.
It is Bahamas. And by the way, while we're talking, you're also seeing Bankman flying back home. But yes, it's a Bahamas, one of the Bahamas, the real estate in Bahamas.
Is that,
According to the
is he-
Free Beacon. Oh, sorry. Did you say?
sorry, apologies. Is he in an airplane there? Is he in a jet?
No, this is where
Is there the rest
in
in
the
the
lobby.
lobby? Okay. I thought it was the rat
Well,
infested.
this is the plain one.
All right.
He's stretching out. Look at the space. He's flying first class. dude.
Yo, KR. He's like, listen, I can pay you.
No, I can show you the way. I can show you the way. Put up the money. It's Bitcoin, guys.
Yeah.
Nah, but according to the Free Beacon, not the bacon, the Bahamian property is part of that 121 million portfolio in Bahamas. So that's what they claim. I'm not sure, but that's what they say.
Okay.
That would mean that
Yeah, continue.
no, you were going to say something. Tell
So
me.
just to understand, it's like, so with the money, with FTX's money, he bought the property. And is it under his name or under FTX's name? It's probably FTX.
Do you think it's an FTX name and the parents can
Yeah, so
put
because
it up like
I
that?
wondered because yeah, so it's probably not FTX because FTX is in enough trouble as it is, so they probably wouldn't put.
They wouldn't allow that to happen.
So that would mean that he used money, other people's money, OPM, to to illegally, or yeah, no, it's not illegally, but just to that's legally. Just he illegally used other people's money to legally buy property
For his parents.
for his parents, which he is now
Putting up.
as a leverage for his deal.
Yo, this is crazy, yo. This is
That's
crazy.
that's what we call an escape plan.
It's all part of the plan.
It's all part, yeah. He was ready. He was ready. Yeah.
He was ready. Well, as you can see, he's flying back to Cali. I'm going back to Cali. Let's hope he comes back. Notorious didn't.
Let's go. Yeah.
This is his parents' $4 million home. As you guys know, in Cali, the prices of property is pretty high. So this is what they're putting up. And as you can see here as well, he's putting up one of these properties as a leverage. And of course, he will be coming back because he's getting backed by the police at home. What do you thought? Did you think that I made the remark without knowing what's coming up, RJ? No, he has police on his back to protect.
But that makes sense because I do think that there are people who lost a lot, and you never know, man. You never put someone in a position where they have nothing to lose. They need to have something to live for. I mean, and if you took everything away from them, it's safe to assume that some people might want to leverage his life for their peace of mind. So you need to I'm trying,
That's pretty poetic of saying.
it's poetic. It's not only poetic, it's also a good way to stay clean, to not get the algorithm against us.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's back right now. He will be spending Christmas and New Year's at mom and pop's. That cannot be said about Tory.
Tory Lanez. That's another show, man. That's
But that's definitely another show. But he will have to show up again in court on the 3rd of January. So probably for now, might be one of his last Christmas with the fam. I hope he makes the best out of it. So that's the end of the first chapter. Second chapter. As I said, we're going to look back into some things that he has done in the past. We have a couple of videos on FTX, guys. Go check it out. We have a playlist which has all the videos we made before. We are now at 22. That's including 2 live shows. So let's say it's 10 clips for each live show. Roundabout. Let's continue with Joe Rogan, who shortly discussed something RJ mentioned in the past. Let's see what he said.
It's like it's worth watching.
That other guy, the guy who was the head dog at Google, was it Google or Facebook? Chamath? Where was he from? Was he from Google, right?
I think he runs this venture capital fund. I don't know. He probably used
But
to work there.
wasn't he like
back in
the
the day. I
top
don't-
guy
I don't
of
know
Google?
exactly.
Anyway, he's a billionaire and he really understands it. And he actually
Oh, I
reached
see that
out to
guy,
them,
yeah.
contacted them, and said, you should form a board. And they told him to go fuck himself. That's literally what they said to
Was he
him.
like,
Go
I love
fuck
this
yourself.
kid?
He was like, he's a fucking billionaire financial guy who actually understands how money
Yeah.
works. And he said, like, this is what you guys got to do.
Oh,
Like,
and
and they're like, go fuck.
the new tropics were making them arrogant.
They're on speed all day, man. These guys are.
people were trying to advise him, RJ.
Yeah.
Like you said before, corporate structure, make it easy for yourself. The only thing they structure was all the companies, how to move money around.
Yeah.
You can ask yourself if it was all not a big mistake, as he claims, or the other way around.
Yeah. I mean, the way he handled it, if you're not going to use a corporate structure, you need to be, which is okay. So companies that manage, no, big companies, after you get to a certain, after you grow, so after a certain point, you need to have a corporate structure in place because it's, as a founder, entrepreneur, you can't really manage a big organization. So let's play the devil's advocate. If he did not want to implement corporate structural rules, then he would have had to be more on point with regards to how the money was moved, not less. He can't decide to not put a corporate structure in place and then say I was the victim. Doesn't work like that.
Total mismanagement.
Yeah.
Can put it. It's amazing if you think about it, and then there are some clips as well about this, indirectly talking about this fact. But if you think about it, not having a corporate structure, not having the processes to protect your own customers, this is the way you structure. The way he has structured his company tells you how he thinks about his customers.
Doesn't.
Whether they are worthy of protecting. Guys, thank you for following the broadcast. I see we have a couple of people watching. Like the show. Press on the like button. If you're watching the broadcast as well, thank you for watching. Like the show as well. Please subscribe. And we can go to the next clip. This is Coffeezilla talking about Sam.
It's
So
basically it.
what are some interesting things you've learned from those interviews?
I think I've appreciated why you don't talk in that position. Most people wouldn't talk. Most people would listen to their legal counsel and not talk. I do not think he's any lawyer worth their salt would tell him to talk, because right now, I think the danger of what he's doing is he's locking himself into a story of how things happened. And I don't think that story is going to hold up in the coming months, because I think it's impossible, from the insider conversations I've had with Alameda Research employees, with FTX employees, it's impossible to square what they are telling me with no incentive to lie with what SBF is telling me with every incentive to lie, which is fundamentally that he didn't know they were commingling funds. He didn't know they were gambling with customer money. And it was basically this huge mistake. And it's Alameda's fault, but he wasn't involved in Alameda, a company he owned.
So like a compassionate but hard-hitting gangster that you are, recently.
Yeah. He's both the perpetrator and the victim. You might need to add multiple personality disorder next to his depression, because you can't be serious. Come on.
This reminds me of that Eric Andre meme. You know of it?
Eric Andre meme. Let me check it
Yeah,
out.
Eric Andre show. I'll search it up for everyone to see.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Why did you tum tum tum?
Yeah.
It's a very funny joke where he blames the crowd for what happened. But I cannot put it in a different
Oh.
wording, I think.
Go check it out.
So we've watched, let me see, we are now at this one. Yes, so in the next, so he's the victim, according to him. Quite a victim, I have to say. Because the structure of the whole business is set up in a way that you can say it's not ethical, not ethical at all.
Yeah. He's a victim. Listen to this, Gary. He's a victim that got richer after being victimized.
After the crime.
That's a hell of a victim, man.
Yo,
That's a hell of a victim.
what kind of crime is that?
Yeah. So to all his defense,
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you something.
We don't care.
we don't care. We don't care. Just give us the money. We don't care.
Yeah. It's going to be very interesting to see how this this will develop. But let's watch Coffeezilla talking about the crimes. One of the crimes that have been
A fundamental perspective, what SBF was doing and like the activities they were engaging in were so complicated and purposely designed to obfuscate what they were doing. It's impossible to subscribe to the negligence argument. And I want to quickly say too, like, I don't think a lot of people have honed in on this. There was insider trading going on from Alameda's perspective, where they would know what coins FTX was going to list on their exchange. And there's a famous effect where, let's say you're this legitimate exchange, you list a coin, the price spikes.
Mhm.
Insiders told me it was a regular practice for Alameda insiders to know that FTX was going to list a coin, and as a company buy up that coin so they could sell it after it listed. And they made millions of dollars. How do you do that accidentally?
Yeah, and that's illegal.
Totally illegal.
Right.
So that's illegal from like, and if an individual does it, it's illegal, it's fraud. What if a company is systematically doing it? And you can't tell me that FTX or someone at FTX wasn't feeding that information to Alameda or somehow giving them keys to know that. And that would happen at the highest level. It would happen at SBF's level. And this is why his arguments of, I was dumb, I was naive, I was sort of ignorant, are so preposterous, because he's dumb and ignorant the second it becomes criminal to be smart and sophisticated, right?
But then also coming
Yo. It's like, oh yeah. Oh, now I'm dumb. Because before that, he was a boy genius.
yeah.
He's a boy genius who co-founded FTX and made it into a $60 billion company. And now,
He doesn't know what he's doing.
no.
Can't make this up, man. Is there a species for that as well? I'm not gonna make the same joke again, but
A species for that?
well, let's continue. Let's continue.
Yeah, that's complete.
Let's continue. So yeah, he has. Someone was feeding information. RJ, do you expect we'll ever see how deep the rabbit hole goes?
It
Will
depends
we
on,
ever know?
well, you'll be surprised. In cases like this, you will find out a lot of things except for the money, where the money went. So no, that's just the truth. So everyone will start singing, because in every organization you have people who are pro and people who have a conscience, and who maybe on the operational level, who, for example, worked on the operational level, but did not agree with the practices of the
Mhm.
company. So a lot of things will become known. And especially because we're gonna get to the deals that were cut, especially when let's say we reach that point, you will see that there are people who made deals with I don't recall if it's with the SEC or the prosecutor, probably both, to help snitch on SBF and other people involved with the FTX scandal. So, I mean, if that person is someone, or at least was someone close to SBF,
Inner circle.
in inner circle, then we will find out a lot.
I guess whatever is happening, Netflix is rubbing their hands, Birdman style, right now.
Another one.
Another one. Another one. Definitely another one.
Another one.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
It's this is Firefest all over.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is gonna be definitely this is definitely gonna be a documentary.
It's gonna be a series.
It's gonna be a series, definitely.
They're
Yeah,
gonna make this
it's gonna
one
be a series. Yeah, it's true.
2 seasons.
He's old now, but Jonah Hill could have played him. Anyways, so
No,
we think
you will have to eat a lot of McDonald's. Oh man, no, just kidding.
no, nobody's a good. Is that so?
So
I
that
think
was
that
one of it.
that yeah, I mean, we're gonna find out more so as we progress to see the deals that were cut, but definitely I believe we're gonna know a lot from we're gonna just like with regard to the Twitter files,
Mhm.
people always start singing. It is what it is.
They will start singing to get free.
They will start singing.
Sorry, Judge.
He was for real.
Oh man. But let's watch the next clip of Coffeezilla and Lex Fridman.
Somewhat interesting from a psychology perspective, because he's very open about the fact that he understands image and he understands how to cultivate image, the importance of image, so well that I think a lot of people, even though they've talked about it, aren't emphasizing that enough when interacting with him. This is a man whose entire history is about cultivating the right opinions at the right time to achieve the right effect. Why do you think he would suddenly change that approach when he has all the more reason to cultivate an image?
So he is extremely good naturally, or
I don't know if he's good, but he's hyper aware.
so he's deliberate in cultivating a public image and controlling the
For
public
sure.
image.
You know about the Democrat donations. Like he knew to donate to the right people, $40 million. He says on a call that we released with Tiffany Fong, he says on a call that he donated the same amount to Republicans. There's speculation on whether this is true because he's a liar, whatever. So caveat there. But he said he donated to Republicans the same amount, but he donated dark because he knew that most journalists are liberal and they would kind of hold that against him. So he wanted all the sides to be in his favor, in his pocket, while simultaneously understanding the entire media landscape and playing them like a fiddle by cultivating this image of, I'm this progressive, woke billionaire who wants to give it all away, do everything for charity. I drive a Corolla while living in $1 million penthouse, multi-million. But that was sort of the angle. He understood so well how to play the media. And I think he underestimated when he did this how much people would put him under a deeper microscope. And I don't think he has achieved the same level of success in cultivating this new image, because I think people are so skeptical now. No one's buying it. But I think he's trying it. He's doing it to the best.
But it has.
Like they say in basketball, you live by the 3 and you don't live by the 3. Watch out for these words, man. But yeah, so it's he's gonna double down. He's been branded as the billionaire who wants to give everything away, and he wants to keep that image. So you will, until we reach a conclusion in this case, keep claiming that it was incompetence and not deliberate mismanagement of funds.
Yeah, I think what Coffee also said is shows you a lot about the culture we're in these days.
You mean to say that people are quick to believe?
Quick to believe, but they are also, as long as you have the right opinion, they will be less critical about whatever situation it is. That you're part of us.
Yeah. So as long as you say the right things.
Yes.
Yeah.
What did I say then? Did I say that?
No, you said, well, you said as long as you have the right opinion, I think is what.
Yeah. Okay. If you're
say the right thing, because what he said might not be his opinion.
That is true, but because by the way, he's the weirdest crook I ever seen. He tells well, I'm not saying crook, alleged crook, alleged crook. I gotta cover my ass.
How so? Weird in what sense?
It wasn't the first time. In the beginning, Coffee said that in an interview he told people about how he's acting, and he has done it multiple times where he says, the whole culture we're in, it requires you to do something, act as if you're that person, and then. If you're really this hubris is, I mean,
yeah, and the report
he's on Icarus level, Icarus of right now, or he's just the R word.
Yeah, I don't think he is. I think
no, he isn't.
No.
It's just all hubris.
Yeah, and the reporter was like. Even if the reporter was sharp, so let's just play with this one. Let's say he said it and the reporter was a skeptic reporter. And after hearing Sam say that, he asked him, "Are you doing it at this moment?" Sam was like, "No." Oh, thank God. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's what you say. It's and goes to show there's a difference. So this is maybe something interesting for you to know.
Mm-hmm.
In the past, you had, let's say in the Roman times, you didn't have lawyers as such, but people acting as lawyers. So you could ask to be, so you could require someone to represent you in a particular case. And you had like two people, two types of people to represent you. You could go either for not you could go, but you had two type of people. You had one on the one hand, and to this day it's basically the same. On the one hand, you have someone that knows the law, knows the rules very well, and on the other hand, you have someone that's that's good in rhetoric, so good in speaking. And you might think, the better lawyer or the better person is the one that knows the material, but I mean, what we see with let's say in all the big companies, the big tech companies, with Apple, so Steve Jobs, etc., is oftentimes the one who speaks the best, who can make a company blow up and get the fame. So Sam knows that, especially in this day and age, it's what you say, but it's also how you say it. And whether you mean it or not, people don't really care. People aren't skeptical enough these days. Maybe they never were, actually. I don't know. I wasn't alive back then. So
Yeah.
All right. Let's go.
Last clip is Coffee talking about his interview with insiders in FTX.
So yeah, it seems very deliberate. I mean, I talked to one FTX employee that who's told me they talked about taking FTX US public, and Sam was very against the idea. And the employee, in retrospect, speculated that it might have been because you'd face so much scrutiny, like regulation-wise, like you'd have to, go through a lot, like more thorough audits, all that kind of stuff, that basically he knew they would never pass. So yeah, I mean, it's red flags all the way down with that guy.
And you hope all of them get punished.
Everyone who knew.
That's definitely a red flag, by the way.
yeah,
Because when you're, for those who don't know, when you're going public, you will have to abide by certain rules and regulations relating to public companies.
and transparency is very important.
Yep.
Transparency is very important. Corporate structure is very important. So, and of course, he didn't want to go public. Apparently, he didn't want to go public. It's not a shock that he didn't want to go public, because all the suspicious transactions would be called out, and Sam was like, I actually ain't got time for that. So let's not go public.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
We gotta go play. We're gonna make. I wonder. This is my big question. Usually, you want to go public at a certain time. I mean, the investors want to go public. I'm curious how long they would have waited to do that, because based on well, I know one of these processes. Well, one of these type of audits that you do when you're a public company, and they wouldn't make it the first five steps in that audit.
Yeah.
Let alone the whole company. It's I mean, it's a major red flag. And in addition, what we talked about earlier with the not wanting to have a board. Moving the money and all the other things they did. It's amazing they could have made it this far, to be honest.
Yeah.
And it won't, and it didn't collapse earlier.
Yeah. It's amazing how they got so many people on board running it the way they did.
Tells you a lot about the people.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Amazing. So, some people think
You can't keep getting away with it. He can't keep getting away with it. He won't.
so. The deal cutting has started. In the back of the mind of Sam, he's probably thinking,
You think you can do this to me?
King Kong ain't got nothing on me.
Nothing on me.
Times are hard. Times are really hard. And not everyone has donated or has the high notoriety, as the judge called him. He doesn't have not everyone has the notoriety as Sam. So they have to take whatever they can get at this moment. And plea deals are getting handed out like cars on the Oprah show these days.
Yeah. Yeah. So oftentimes you you try to get a plea deal with a small fish in order to get the bigger fish.
Well,
And the
Tell me.
bigger fish is not always. This is my theory. This is just my theory. The bigger fish is not always the one who caused the most damage, but it can be as well the one who the people needs to see taken down in order to have, in order to take away the public unrest.
He's the face.
He's the face.
Might not be the one who caused it all. You never know.
No, you never know. But he is the face.
And I do agree with you on that. You see that a lot, that sometimes the main cause is cooperating and giving up, let's say, a offer. A victim. Maybe he is a victim. Just kidding. He's not a victim, guys.
One
But
one part of him is one of his personalities is a victim.
yeah, one of his. One of his. I'm not gonna say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, not gonna say that. Definitely not.
Who said it? Paul Mooney. Paul Mooney had a joke about that. It was like let's say, but in this case, so in Paul Mooney's case, of course, for those who don't know, Paul Mooney's jokes are always race. They always have that race element, right? So it's like when a white person says, I have multiple personalities disorder. Wow. The judge will be like, wow, multiple personalities. We need to investigate. If it's a black person, the judge will say, well, choose one, because choose whatever one. But one of you is going to jail. Yeah.
Oh man.
Because you'd be in jail.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy if you think about it.
Pick one.
Yeah, I guess you will have to pick one real soon, because on the 3rd he will be back. And Caroline Ellison, his ex-girlfriend is cooperating. She has entered a plea deal with the prosecutors to avoid 110 years, possibly. I mean, probably she wouldn't get that much, but she had 7 tax violations and various counts of fraud on her name.
Yeah.
But they will drop the most serious ones.
Yeah, she went into the negotiations like,
Give me a break.
I'll sing for you.
Oh,
sing
man.
for you. I'll sing for you. Guys, for those of you tuning in, thanks for watching. And go check out the intro of this show, man. Speaking of singing. Remember to like the video and subscribe if you haven't done so already. It really helps us with the algorithm. What are you? What are you laughing at?
You're talking about singing. You know the question that just raced through my head?
What?
Would Tori be free if he was singing? Oh man, we really need to do a show on that.
If he was singing, he might have stayed out longer. Let's put it like that.
Hey man, it's crazy.
That's a yeah. So maybe we can do the last show of December on that topic. We'll see, guys. We'll see.
I see. 1st of January.
The 1st of January, maybe.
First one of January.
Oh yeah, that's also a good one. Yeah.
So guys, in exchange for a cooperation, they will proceed on the less serious charges. And she would probably settle at 250K, a fine of 250K. So, well, she's one of the major players in this. It's if you think about it, she was the CEO of the company who was basically buying. So they would like Coffeezilla said, they would know which coins would be listed. They would buy them up and sell them to the consumers.
Yeah.
If that ain't a scam, I don't know what is.
And she was the CEO of
Alameda,
right? She was the CEO of Alameda. But that's why I believe that they're gonna find out a lot of things about SBF, because as a CEO, so she was both the girlfriend, or let's say the main girlfriend of SBF, and the CEO of Alameda, and she had high position in FTX as well. At least she had the knowledge in FTX as well. So if she's cooperating, I don't see SBF's future that bright.
She'll sell a story for 10 million and pay that fine like it's nothing.
Like it's nothing. Yeah.
Like it's nothing. Like it's a $5 burger.
Yeah.
Anyway, she's not the only one. Wang is also talking. Gary Wang, the other co-founder. Everyone is starting to talk. So they are basically building a case, and the judge said there is a lot of evidence already. To the point that Sam is facing 8 charges, including conning investors out of 1.8 billion by diverting the cash to his private crypto hedge fund, which was run, like we said, by Caroline. According to the charges, he's also been orchestrating a multi-year fraud that diverted billions and billions and billions in customer money to use for personal means,
Bruh.
including, like we said before, all that real estate. Think about it. Think about it.
Our patience is not eternal. I think that
Hey, they are. This is a shot. It's a warning shot to everyone who needs to talk.
open, you could have used another word. So it's like
Wow.
but
You know, it-
yeah, of course. Yeah. So
Because you'd be in jail.
he's going to jail, man. He's going to jail, man.
it's
Or at least he's gonna get convicted. We don't know if he's going to actually do time. He's probably gonna do time. He's gonna get out on early parole. People are oftentimes more lenient with white collared criminals than they are with lower level.
Bernie got a lot of years though.
Yeah. So that's why I said you're gonna get convicted either way. He's gonna get convicted either way.
Let me see how much years did Bernie get? I saw it in the flash. Oh my god.
Let me check it out.
Oh my god.
150?
I think I saw it in the flash.
Yeah.
I saw 150, but it wasn't the 150.
Yeah. When did he get in?
Yeah, he got 150 years.
Yeah. So, but let's see, during the
2009.
during the sentence, they will. So as he's sitting out the sentence, SBF, his lawyers will probably keep fighting for early early parole, early release. Maybe he might develop an illness, those type of things. So they're going to try to get him out, so he doesn't sit, let's say, his whole life. So he doesn't go transition to the next life in jail.
Yeah. I mean, Madoff went in when he was 71, so
Yeah.
I mean, he lived a good life though before that.
Yeah.
Off people's money, which is sad because a lot of pensions were hurt by that. In this case, this is more. In this case, you don't have funds, official funds using crypto yet because it's not regulated. But I mean, it still hurts a lot. It hurts a lot of people. What happened here?
Yeah.
Do you think, RJ, will they take it to trial? Will they do a Tory Lanez or YSL?
Yeah, they're gonna take it to trial. They're gonna take it to trial. So I guess your question is whether he will settle or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're probably gonna take it to trial and settle before the trial ends. Because the evidence is there. The question is the only problem is, let's say, if they're negotiating, the prosecutor's not gonna care too much about mental health. And if that's what Sam wants to bank on, pun intended, then he would need to go to, continue with the court case. But his position is very, very, very bad because he's the one responsible. And if they are willing to, if the prosecutor was willing to cut a deal with Caroline, his girlfriend, someone from the inner circle who knew Sam, both on a, let's say, intimate personal level, as well as a as well as the business aspect of Sam's life.
Mhm.
If they're willing to cut a deal with her and with the other co-founder Wang, then they want to see blood, and Sam is the one will be the sacrificial lamb. So he's not. He might get a deal, but he's not. He's not getting out that easily. The more he can give back, the less time. So the more leverage he would have. So if he can bring back, now they're at 10%, I think. If he can make 50% appear, then his negotiation position would be better because that would mean that the damages would be less.
Well, someone backdoored 2 billion, right? Or 500 million. So that's also where is that?
Yeah.
Guess we'll never know.
Yeah.
I guess we'll never know.
And he might say, yeah, I didn't know about it, but as a co-founder and one, let's say, as the co-founder and as someone with his level of power and influence within FTX, he was responsible. So it's not necessarily that so the judge will not only look and see if he was the one who actually made the money disappear, but would also look at who's responsible for having, the right structure in place. And as if you're the one running the show, then you're the one responsible. And if you're the one running the show and you fail to put a corporate structure in place, then you need to carry the consequences thereof.
Yes. Definitely. So guys, let us know what you think about this. Will it make the trial? Will there ever be a trial? Or will they settle?
Yeah.
Will they settle?
Yeah.
Or this is all part of a big.
It's all part of the plan.
Maybe if you look at the statistics as well, KR, when you see that, let's say on average 60%, I think it's safe to say like 60% of people they interviewed on average thought that he would get sentenced. I think about 10 to 12% thought that he would not get sentenced. And somewhere in the middle, you had like a 30% of people who thought that he would get sentenced, or at least that didn't know whether or not he would get sentenced. Curious to know that as well, both from you, but also from our followers and our listeners and our watchers and our subscribers and our supporters, whether they believe that Sam will get sentenced, and if so, how severe would that sentence be?
I think you pointed out someone has to be the sacrificial lamb. And in this case, it will probably be Sam. I think he'll definitely get 20% of the 25% of what of the total, probably. But then again, the problem with that is I would have to see the what kind of evidence they will show up, because as we and like you said, RJ, sometimes it's not about the law, it's about who's talking.
Yeah.
So who will be his lawyers? Maybe he has that mouthpiece on him.
Yeah.
And he can lower it down. Not saying they might say he's bipolar.
Yeah. They might lower it down from 250 to 150 years. But this guy is going under the jail, man. No.
We'll see. We'll see. I do think he will get at least 25%.
Yeah, so in these type of cases, white collar crime cases, they often always go to the head. They go for the head. If it's like someone working in a bank who made some transactions to his own account and you can prove it, then that would be different. You know,
Mhm.
in this case, we're not talking about an employee who did something wrong. We're talking about the whole policy of a company, the whole structure of a company.
That is true. That is true.
So
It was built on. It was built to. It
yeah,
was built for fraud.
yeah. And there's a rule,
Right.
or there's a saying in law, because sometimes people will say, "Yeah, I didn't know that." But in law, we say there's a principle: everyone is considered to know the law, and with that, it's not necessary. I mean, you should interpret it in a broad way.
Mhm.
So not that everyone knows it in their head or by their heart or by heart, but it's more you are expected to seek out advice to do it in the right way.
Mm.
So the law does not protect you from your own ignorance. So even if he says, "Yeah, I didn't know," I can see him getting it lowered to, let's say, the sentence lowered to something.
So we'll never see him again.
Yeah, so and that's the thing. Maybe we will see him again. Not well. We're seeing him now. I say after he after he gets put in jail, I think we will not see him for a while, but they will try to get him out on parole or early release, something like that,
Mm.
based on other reason. But the question is, what is sooner? If he gets sentenced to 150 years jail time and he gets out after 50, it's still, I think he's gonna spend a majority of the rest of his life in prison.
In prison. I have a question.
Shoot.
Will he be singing or crying during that trial?
He doesn't seem to have emotions. When he talks, he talks like a robot. I think that he will not. He will sing. He might sing. Let's say he might sing in the sense that he would try to blame other people.
Yeah. It was a double entendre.
Yeah. And the prosecutor may say, "Yeah, we know that already. We have a deal with them. You're good, man. We're coming for you." So, and he might, of course, he will probably try to use the whole "I'm depressed," mental illness argument, but That, I mean, it needs to weigh. It needs to weigh correctly, and it's I don't know how it works exactly in the US. I believe it works like in the rest of the world. The argument, so you need to prove that of you need to prove the wrongdoing. That's step one. Then you would need to decide so whether someone is guilty or not as a first step, and after that you go for the next step, what the punishment should be. The whole mental part aspect in a majority of countries is only relevant to the sentencing, not or at least the punishment, not the establishment of guilt. So they will most likely find him guilty,
Mhm.
but the whole I'm sick or whatever, that's an argument to use to lower the sentencing. And there he will try to cry, but I think that he's not, because he's not a charismatic person. He's a very logical person. I believe that he would have a difficult time convincing people that he's truly sorry.
Can he get his sentence lowered because he's a vegan?
No, of course not.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. I've seen people try. So I mean, those are all arguments. Let's say if the prison food is trash, then and he needs a specific diet and he doesn't get it, then they will probably try to use it at least to get him earlier out.
Otherwise, it's RIP toilets, right?
Yeah, but but the whole thing is, it still needs to weigh.
I do agree with you, man. I do.
If it's just a preference, if let's say veganism is just a preference, not necessarily lifestyle for his health, then it's not really that relevant.
Lock him up, man. It's done.
Yeah,
He's shut.
In jail.
it's gonna be in jail. Yeah, man. So can we do should I do a recap?
Yes, please.
Yes. Okay, guys. Before the recap, thanks to everyone who's still tuning in. If you're just tuning in and you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. We really appreciate it. And if you just tuned in as well, go check out the beginning of the show. We started off the show with a
Banger.
with a banger that a song that Sam Bankman Fried fraud is probably singing free. He's free now.
He's free now.
Yeah, free now. He's probably singing as we speak, or at least he was singing in the plane ride to the US. You want to say something?
Yes. Before you do the conclusion, I want to thank everyone who was in the chat, the bots, but also Steph Keys 21.
Yeah.
And guys, please leave comments. I mean, the questions are being asked. Please answer them, and so we can start a discussion and share ideas and thoughts. That's what the show is about. So
Yeah.
please continue.
Yes, thanks. So we divided this show in 3 segments, as you guys could have noticed. Since last week, we've changed up the structure a bit of the show to get so we can dive deeper without wasting too much time. We started with the first part of the show, the first chapter, where we basically talked about the fact that Sam got freed, or at least that the judge granted him bail, so he can stay out of jail until the court case is finalized, or at least until this whole prosecution is concluded, either by means of a verdict or by means of a or my apologies, by means of a sentence or by means of a settlement. So yeah, we discussed the fact that he had about. So KR talked about the fact that he has about, or that at least that they have retrieved about $1 billion in assets, basically spread. What did you say?
They have traced.
They have traced. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they haven't recovered everything yet, but they have traced it. Some of that consists of real estate properties. Others consist of cash. For example, there are approximately $130 million cash sitting in Japan, just liquid cash. And KR mentioned the fact that the new board of the company is currently changing all the signatory papers so they can act on behalf of FTX and claim the money back. After that, we discussed the second part of the show, which was the or at least we looked back at some things we've learned from the FTX. In that segment, we looked at the, amongst other things, the interview of Lex Fridman and Coffeezilla. Coffeezilla, of course, was interviewed. Was it 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, about various topics. For those of you who don't know, Coffeezilla is I think you can call him an investigative reporter. He has his own YouTube channel, and in his channel he tries to dive into scandals, or at least alleged scandals, and try to expose frauds, scams, and those type of things. So he has extensive knowledge on the FTX situation. So we looked at some of those clips and commented on them. And finally, in the last chapter, we talked about the fact that the prosecutor is currently of course, they're prosecuting Sam Bankman, and to do that, they need proof. So what they did was they enter into plea deals with people who can basically testify on the way Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX, or at least on the role of Sam Bankman-Fried in the FTX scandal, apologies, and on the way FTX actually managed other people's fund. Most notably, one co-founder / colleague of Sam Bankman, and perhaps the most notable person, Sam Bankman-Fried's, can you say former? It's probably his former girlfriend.
Right now it's former.
His former girlfriend, who also occupied high positions in Alameda, one of Sam Bankman-Fried's company, and in FTX as well. And for let's say about 10 minutes, KR and I just discussed the information we talked about today, just to see whether he would, to speculate whether Sam Bankman will get sentenced, whether he'll go to jail or not. So, KR, did you want to add something, or was my recap to your satisfaction?
Well, it was a pretty good recap, so I think we can close it.
Awesome.
Wow, infotainment.
Yeah. With that being said, thanks to all the viewers who are watching the live, and of course, everyone who's watching the rebroadcast as well. This is going to be our last live show of this year. We want to thank everyone who's watched both the live shows and the rebroadcasts during the almost 4 months, KR?
Yes, almost 4 months now.
Almost 4 months. All the support we've been getting, not only for the live shows and the rebroadcast of the live show, but also for the shorter format clips. We want to thank all our subscribers. Last time I checked, we were at 105.
Yeah,
We got like 20 something last week due to that is probably based on the topic.
Yep.
It was a very interesting topic where we also discussed, amongst other things, the FTX story. So really, we truly appreciate you. And for those of you commenting, especially those of you providing positive comments, and with positive comments, I mean feedback, things that we can help us make the show better. We really thank you. And because we're a small show at the moment, we can more easily recall the names of everyone who's contributing, and we will make sure that we don't forget our day ones. Because you're the ones who let's say believed in us from an earlier stage, and you will be the ones who will have the most influence on the direction that the show will take. We've started this journey about 4 months ago, and we want to create content with a particular message. We're still developing this, let's say trying to determine what exactly our place is within the YouTube sphere. So that's something we are, let's say, in every show it's getting clearer for us.
Yeah.
But we never would have thought that we would have 105 subs and more than 50,000 views already.
Yeah.
This soon. I don't know if it's soon. Maybe there are channels who did it faster, but we didn't expect it, at least. So,
Didn't expect it. Yeah.
no, definitely. We have great plans for you next year and for the show. We hope that we can keep counting on your support. Whatever your thoughts are, guys, about this show, please let us know in the comments below. Remember to show your appreciation by pressing the like button, to follow us on all social media platforms, and to subscribe on our YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. Don't hesitate to share our channel with people who might want to add to the conversations as well. Let's have a healthy conversation in the comment section, guys. With that being said, until next time.
Till next time. Till next year.
Till next year.
Bye.
Peace.